Alright everyone, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's just swell. Okay, new monitor. This is one I've been gracefully able to try out. Barefoot, the MM27 it's called. They've got loads of MMs, mini mains, stacks, micro stacks, little footprint things. I've tried out a whole bunch of them. This is probably, well, I haven't tried the mini stack, the 12, the super expensive flagship one. I haven't tried that. So my opinions are basically based on this one up to the MM26, the little horizontal one with a little mid-range driver. So you know what you're looking at. This is the MM27, the Gen 2 version. Didn't try the Gen 1, so my opinions are sort of like completely biased on this one. An incredible monitor, really good, really like it. It's got some things that I'm not sure about. I just don't understand it, maybe. And some things that I think are incredible and insane on a single monitor or a pair of monitors. Super, super heavy. One of the heaviest monitors, if not the heaviest monitor I have ever tried to poorly lift in my life. I think it's 38 kilograms. It's sub 40, definitely. It's definitely sub 40, but when they say how heavy monitors are, I'm always like, it's not that heavy, I can lift this, whatever. This one is very heavy. And I think it's because of this absolutely insane cabinet construction. It feels like some sort of weird fridge I'm lifting. It's really, really, really heavy. And I'm the only monitor that I've ever tried that I can safely put on the top of a meter bridge, a very strong meter bridge, or just like a solid bit of wood or whatever, and you're not getting tons of resonance coming through the wood. I've got these on these little ISO pucks at the bottom, which I don't think they're the best version of the pucks. Are the ISO range, but they basically can go flat to something and you're not hearing tons of the low end and sub and bass. Anyway, so that means easily the best cabinet I've ever heard. If cabinets are a thing, and they are, there's no resonance on this cabinet whatsoever that I can hear. Basically just means to my ears that you're only hearing what the intention of the drivers are and the speakers and the cones and stuff like that, right? So quick rundown. 5 and a bit inch, 2 mid bass they call them. Just little woofers with some polycone, whatever. This thing here is called a ring radiator. You know what it looks like? It's a very strange looking thing. Incredible though. Very, very nice top end. It says it goes, well, the whole unit goes from 30 hertz to 45k with some plus 3 dBs and plus 6 and plus 1 and all that crap. And then the final bit are these two opposing, so one here and one on the other side, two opposing phase cancellation, whatever it is, dual force, every word you can throw at it. Sub basses, bass woofers, the 10-inch subs basically, and they deal with loads of bass, and they deal with it so well that you'd be mistaken to think there's a sub in the room. I mean, there's a sub there, but I've never heard the sub delivered with such isolation between the top's tweeter and the bottom end in the same place, the same footprint, if that makes sense. So I definitely do think this is like, you don't need a sub with this. These are plenty of bass, and the extension is so precise that you can kind of hear where stuff cuts off, like especially 808s and sub kick obviously, but the relationship between the bass and the sub kick and just the attack of the bass, anything that's like thuddy, you know, like the if you're picking a bass or if it's like a plectrum or whatever, you can kind of distinguish the kind of like concerning frequencies which might be like overlapping or masking something else. I feel like it's really good at doing that and just easily showing you that because of this. I feel like it's obviously the drivers, but because of this cabinet lack of resonance, you get this really clear picture of the sub and the bass. So that's incredible. That's the bass. The bass. The tweeter. So notice I jumped from I missed the mid bass at the minute. I jumped straight to the tweeter. The tweeter's incredible. Absolutely bonkers. The first time I heard this, I thought the vocals were about 3 or 4 dB louder than they should be. I was going, is that how loud pop music is? Is that how loud vocals are meant to be this loud? And you think, oh God, it's bright. It's really, and you get adjusting to it and give it a week or whatever. And I thought, oh, actually, no, they just sound really clear. You can hear sibilances. It'll just tell you straight away, say, no, get rid of that. That can't be there. Loads of stuff like that. And I thought it really excelled there in, and just hearing the separation between the very top and like the very bottom felt really defined and quite wide. If that makes sense, like on higher frequencies, it felt like it wasn't as you didn't have to be kind of in a sweet spot as much. It was really like kind of like of that sort of thing. If there's a problem, I think there is, right? Or I just, you know, I don't know what I'm doing with it. So that's the problem. But because I know people who mix on these and master on these, and they do great work, really good stuff. So I know it's possible, but I can't understand these for the life of me. The mid bass, the mid range felt like thin or some, to the point where I'd A/B it between like mixes that I know really well, or something that maybe I'd go, oh well, I think that needs to be thicker or whatever. And I found myself like jumping for EQs left, right, and centre. I'd compress things a little bit more than I'm used to in the mid range, sort of exclusively like keyboards, like guitars and stuff like the top end guitars. Bang, sorted, no problems, right? But the kind of like I don't know, just like the music bit, which is an important bit of the mid range, felt like it just felt a little bit thin, and I don't know. They felt really wide, right? But it felt like some sort of phasey thing or something where. So I'm trying to explain it in a way that, because I know people can deal with this, and they not only can deal with it, think they're incredible monitors, right? And I would say they're incredible just for the tweeter and the sub bass. The amount of extension on both is ridiculous. Like I listen to some classical stuff, not to be like Hans Zimmer, so soundtrack stuff, right? And the dynamic range, it felt like it was just really building, and you think, oh, that's the loudest part, and then it goes, whoa, no, it goes bigger again. So, and I wasn't turning stuff up, and I felt like it would really give you that. I thought they were all like compressy and really like hyped and stuff like that at first, but it gives tons of dynamic range. So I wasn't sure, but I feel like if there's a problem, it's the mid bass or whatever. And now saying this, they've got an MM26 that has this little mid-range driver, which I believe is the same. It's like a little aluminium type woofer cone thing, really small thing, that goes beside here and kind of spins it round and has it in the center. I believe it was made for a center position. If you're that much inclined to be buying lots of different things to surround sound, these left, right, and you put a center speaker with MM26 in the middle, you're laughing, because that has the extra mid-range. And I tried them out and I thought it was all a bit like, wow, it's quite a lot of detail and stuff, and I couldn't get on with them. But that's before I got really into mixing, so maybe right now they'd be a really good shout. They're a bit more than these though, so bear that in mind. But the mid-range is on some of the micro stacks and the MM45s, I think that's right. And I tried some of those out and I thought, amazing, really nice little speakers, but just nowhere near this kind of level of and the footprints as well. They're the same family. You can the frequency feels like it's there, but it just doesn't have the kind of I don't know, the kind of like absolute clarity between when you just press play and you can just everything's like layered. Really, it just felt like a little bit of for lack of a better word, it felt like a higher resolution, right? It is a weird thing, right? But the mid bass, I can't understand, and I knew I was going wrong. I was messing with loads of EQ, and mix came back. I was like, bloody hell, the bass guitar sounds incredible. The sub kick, best sub kick I've ever heard. The extension was like, woo, and then stopped, perfect. There was no like smearing with the bass. It was all like really locked in, really tight. And then and I just lost it in the mid range. And you think, well, that's the most important part, and that is the only reason I haven't bought this on its own. What an incredible monitor. The sub bass on this, I mean, I've said it, the top end, it's mental. Like, they're so good. But I just felt like it, because of that mid bass thing, it felt like there was a scoop in the middle. And I know you might, if you care about any of this kind of stuff, if you're watching this and you're thinking, what am I talking about? I use these and I don't have that problem with the mid range. It feels perfect, everything's right, whatever. All I'm saying is from my experience with trying out a lot of different monitors, and I just got confused with what this was throwing out at me. So a lot of it will be up to the mixing engineer, I'm sure. And if you've mixed on these and nothing else, I'm sure you're going to get good mixes and whatever. But if you feel like anything's thin or anything's not, it didn't have that like kind of like pushed mid range that you kind of used to. It didn't feel flat to me. People said that, oh, they're flat, and some people said they're hyped. Maybe they are hyped, but it feels because they've got a scoop in the middle somehow. With the mid range, feels like it's a little bit thinner. It feels like the tops are so bright and the bottom is so low that you feel like this mid range is lacking. When in actual fact, the bass and the top end feel like they're absolutely bang on, but the mid range is just, I don't know. It just feels a bit further sat back. But anyway, go and get yourself a pair of these right now, because they're the only things that I could throw out a window and would not damage. This cabinet is the strongest thing I've ever come across. Will not scratch. I challenge you. It's a challenge. Hammer them. Put hammers to them. They will not scratch. And the thing is with this, is it's a different quality. They're the only monitors that I've come back to twice because I really, really want to buy these. But this mid-range annoys me to the point of confusion. But again, like I say, I know there's people that mix on these and I've heard their stuff and it sounds amazing. So it's my problem, not the monitors, but that's my experience. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you very much.